Undeniably, one of the key elements of Star Citizen is combat. Whether that's ship-based or on foot, combat clearly plays a major part of both Squadron 42 and the Persistent universe. But particularly for the latter, combat isn't the be-all and end-all. There are plenty of interesting gameplay loops that sometimes sidestep combat completely. I'm Farrister, and this video outlines and celebrates some of the many peaceful ways of playing Star Citizen, for those who like to earn credits and those who just want to have fun in-game. One of the oldest peaceful gameplay loops which allows players to turn a profit is cargo trading. Taking a cargo ship of whatever size to a trading console and buying a bunch of boxes before heading somewhere else to sell them, ideally for more than the purchase price. There are a range of ships in-game that have cargo grids ranging from the teeny tiny to the fairly chunky, and a diverse choice of cargo including legal and somewhat more shady. With more recent updates, the cargo grids are more manageable for players to manipulate, meaning that cargo could be loaded from alternative sources or found in the verse, and then sold. Supposedly coming to the game shortly will be cargo hauling, where the cargo on the grid is essentially owned by a third party, saving on cost and mitigating the risk of loss. Moving a load of boxes from A to B and juggling things around on a cargo grid are likely to be at the core of this gameplay loop, which can be amongst the more relaxing options. It's worth adding that in the current iteration, cargo hauling isn't the most multi-crew friendly option, although you might bring along a co-pilot just for company. Even with the larger cargo haulers, the whole process is largely the same, just with more money and more risk, and potentially more loading time hanging in the balance, so additional people joining in tend to be just for the company, or for the escort and gunner roles that support combat gameplay. The next peaceful gameplay loop that had profitable support in-game was mining. If cargo hauling is a little more hands-off, mining is one of the more exciting peaceful loops, with rock cracking and explosions and lots of things happening. There are a range of options, starting with small-scale mining from a handheld, then mining rovers, then solo mining ships, and then larger multi-crew mining ships. And unlike cargo hauling, the multi-crew options also scale up the way, with meaningful things to be done by more than one player aboard multi-crew mining ships. There's considerable depth to mining, with opportunity to delve into scanning, customizing lasers and modules, gadgets, and riskier mining targets. Mining also offers synergy with cargo hauling, with refined goods being loaded onto a cargo bay. All in all, the mining game loop can be a fun and involved one for the peaceful player, and is a great choice of activity for those looking for something a little more hands-on. Most recently, Salvage entered the arena as a viable candidate for spending time on peaceful activities. Contrasting to mining, Salvage is a little more pedestrian, and broadly consists of slowly painting a salvage hull with salvage beams before cracking it up with the disintegration mode. To break up the monotony a bit, there is often a need to clear the hopper by moving boxes, which gives a little variety. And for those looking to maximise payout per hull, getting in deep and going in and physically stripping out cargo and weapons from a salvage hulk can give further variety. Whilst hand salvage options are available, it's not the smoothest experience, and so salvage is a little less accessible than other loops. Still, the entry-level Vulture can offer some gameplay to 1 or 2 people, and the much larger multi-crew Reclaimer is a great option for 2 or 3 people. Another good thing about salvage, when compared to mining or cargo for example, is you have much more control over your time, as the ability to grab a salvage contract gives a predictable hull in a predictable location, so if you know you only have a certain amount of time, you can still go out and salvage for that duration. So salvage remains a solid choice for the peaceful player who wants to kick back and take things at their own pace. The Persistent Universe missions now also support an alternative game mode that previously was largely community driven, and that's racing. There are various racing tracks cited throughout the verse, and so peaceful players who still like to experience an adrenaline rush can head out to a track and put the pedal to the metal. There are some modest credit payouts depending on how good you are, as well as a range of detailed options in the Arena Commander game mode. Racing is a game loop that is all about personal skill, and that will understandably appeal to many. As an offshoot of cargo hauling, there are also delivery options. It's a little different because the cargo boxes aren't cargo boxes, they're parcel boxes, but basically it's at a much smaller scale and better tailored to the smaller and easier to fly ships. It's a highly accessible gameplay option as any ship with the physical room to place a box can participate, so new players with starter ships are a natural fit. The payouts are often much lower than with dedicated cargo hauling, but it can be a relaxing way to find an excuse to fly around the verse. Other contracts appear that sometimes flirt between combat and non-combat, like investigation missions or medical beacons. Sometimes the situation surrounding these may be a little unclear, so it's not always a peaceful option, but sometimes can be, so is worth mentioning. Likewise, there are a host of peaceful options that don't necessarily include a payout. Things like refueling, exploration, or even roleplay can form great gameplay options for many peaceful players, but without the backing of structured or curated support from the in-game systems, at least not yet. There are also some additional ideas planned for the future that aren't yet in-game, like repair, but it seems probably best to wait until they're in-game before expanding further. So basically, there are lots of gameplay options out there for the peaceful player. Not everything has to always be about fighting, although that doesn't mean you might not need to defend yourself at some point during any of these loops. Are you a peaceful player or somebody who doesn't mind engaging the enemy? I look forward to reading in the video comments. As always, if you're not yet subscribed to the channel but would like YouTube to show you more videos like this, then you might want to press that button, but otherwise, and as always, thank you for watching.